Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of Brainy the RPG Cat. We're going to be playing some more Bubsy and the Purrfect collection, and we're mostly going to be doing an invincibility run of Bubsy 2. Gosh, what can I say about Bubsy 2? Bubsy was an interesting rental from the Blockbuster rental store once upon a time. Its sequel is slightly more so. After getting an extensive amount of feedback from the first game, issues that people said that, about the first game, something along the lines of Bubsy having too much momentum. All of Bubsy's momentum was taken away. The fact that Bubsy had no ability in order to attack enemies in advance, they gave him a Nerf gun. They gave him a literal Nerf gun. And it's probably the Nerf gun that we're going to be using pretty extensively in this invincibility run that we're going to be doing. The fact that the levels were actually very wide and sprawling, they were pared down, but they were still equally as confusing when it comes to layout. That is something that we can hope to see. And this is just continuing in the narrative that I continue to give you about my feline from another E-line, Bubsy the Bobcat, is that he had lots of very ambitious ideas behind him, but unfortunately, they weren't as good as far as execution, So we'll see how this all pans out when we play the next entry in Bubsy and the Purrfect collection. I'm going to go ahead and run an ad now, and then after the ad, we'll come back and we're going to go ahead and start playing. I like the, the main Bubsy theme so much. The Bubsy title theme from Claws Encounters of the First Kind. That so much, I'm surprised that they didn't put it in more games. But, probably the only thing that would have the potential to be Bubsy's Green Hill Zone. Unfortunately, well, I mean, obviously it's on the title screen of this collection, so maybe popular opinion is finally beginning to catch up with me. That's probably all I have to say about that. But, well, we're going to be doing more of this, as Bubsy 2 was the game that came immediately after the pilot for the cartoon series, so a lot of references to the pilot, the two characters, several characters, enemy types, and things like that come directly from the pilot, and also the fact that this is the first time Bubsy was voiced by veteran voice actor Rob Paulsen, who you would know as Raphael the Ninja Turtle, Yakko Warner from Animaniacs, and lots of other very famous television roles there. What could possibly go wrong? It's probably the first time that Bubsy ever actually got that catchphrase. I continue to say that I suspected that was some form of cheese pun when it was first uttered in Claws Encounters. But then, they just kind of decided to go with it. Character needed catchphrase. Sometimes characters need catchphrases. That's all I really got to say about that. All right, folks, let's go ahead and let's light this candle. Hello, cats and kittens, felines and felidae, humans and variant humans, and every race, class, and subclass. Welcome to another episode of Rating the RPG Cat. We're playing Bubsy in the Purrfect collection again, and once again we are going to go through one of the original Super Nintendo games, Bubsy 2, and we are also going to be putting on all of the cheat codes, infinite times, infinite lives, and invincibility, and see how far we can get through the entirety of the game. I'm pretty sure, I was probably only 2 or 3 levels off from beating Claw's encounters. I probably have the opportunity in order to go back to my save state after looking at a walkthrough and figuring out where that exit from that one Great Outdoors level was actually supposed to be. And I may still do that. I haven't necessarily decided whether or not I was going to do that. At least maybe it's something that I can do like a little bit closer towards the end of these, the entirety of these playthroughs. But at least for now, we're just going to be moving on to the next game in the series. Holy furballs! A night at the Furzeum. Bubsy 2 is twice the fun. All right, so
what could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? So the new voice of Bubsy is the guy who actually does the voice of Kinger in the Amazing Digital Circus. He doesn't do the goofy lisp like every single other voice actor. Well, I think actually the ones from the more recent games that came out also don't do that. Alright, so this game is an almost psychedelic mishmash of things that I'm barely going to be able to describe. So, basic backstory is that there's an evil billionaire named Oinker P. Ham who is messing with interdimensional portals in order to build a grand museum. So it's up to Bubsy and it's up to his niece and nephew to infiltrate the museum and undo this evil cosmic mismatch, and that is most definitely what it's going to be looking like. Okay, so we start out in this hub right here. So we have in the medieval level, we have an airplane flying level, and we have a music level and a pirate level. So for starters, we're going to go ahead, we're going to do the plane levels because the plane levels just happen to be really easy. Just very straightforward shooters.
Nothing can stop me now.
Felice Academy. Oh, I've often been accused of making too many terrible puns, but I don't think anybody can outpun the Bubster. Alright. I was hit somewhere, as I was escaping the tunnel. Hard to tell exactly where. Alright. Shooting a bunch of bad guys with a Nerf gun. You can virtually guarantee that that's what the majority of this playthrough is going to be. Oinker's goons must be highly allergic to foam rubber. I don't know. Wow, this level is certainly threaded together in a certain way. So yeah, I don't think you can collide with a plane after you've defeated the minion in it. You can score some extra ammo here, even though you have infinite ammo while you're in the plane. You have to think about that on-ground ammo. That on-ground ammo is certainly limited. Here's where I actually had to learn to use the shoulder buttons to turn around, so I can get the marbles. You know, they try to change the collectible game to game. There is something certainly succinct about Bubsy losing his marbles. Let me see. A total of 1 trading card. I will spend. Oh well. Actually, I don't have 0. I will just buy 1 more Nerf ball. I'm going to be collecting a lot of Nerf balls because they are most assuredly important in this playthrough. All right. Well, let's go to the medieval world next.
Another swine mech.
My penguin for a horse. Okay, this is one of the more standard levels. So, arm myself with Nerf. For the brigands are upon us. It matters very little because, you know, I also have invincibility. You know, there was a lot of potential in, like, this idea right here. The fact that there are things that appear to hurt Bubsy, but then he suddenly gains some cartoon immunity, and you could use it to launch yourself or something like that. Sadly, not something that they really put a lot of stock in. Alright. Bum-ba-dum-bum-bum-ba-dum-ba-dum. Music's not too bad. I mean, it has a few surf whistles in it, and then they kind of follow it up with having a more treacherous sounding chorus. You know, I can slide down that banner like I'm sliding down the water slides. Because that's something that actually makes tonal sense. Alright. As I recall, the Nerf gun that Bubsy uses in this game was actually one that was on the market for the first time in 1994, around the time that this game was first released. Oops. Okay, just like in the first game, I still can die from sharp, pointy objects, so I have to watch out for that. I think I've only hit 1 checkpoint so far. I wonder if this means that the bees are extra harmful to me. I would like to get through this barely existent 16-bit platformer from the 90s, but I'm so dummy thick, and the clapping of my bobcat tail is attracting the bees. Is this just a fall? Yeah, I thought it was. Silly me, I thought I was playing like Crash Bandicoot or something, and then I thought that that was actually going to net me something. I fell down a well, actually. The arrow is telling me to go down, so of course I'm going to follow the arrow. Oh, I still take fall damage too.
Is there a doctor in the house?
I died right next to the ending point of the stage. Alright. There we are. So this game is suddenly going to seem a lot easier because, you know, there were so many more things that were going to end up killing me if I hadn't put all the cheats on. Okay, so that one is out of the way. We have Egypt and we have pirates next. I'll go to the Egypt stage next.
Nothing can stop me now.
Yeah, music is kind of cool in this level as well. Hieroglyphs coming to life and turning into alligators with loincloths. The water slides are in this stage too. They don't have the payoff of showing wet bobcat afterwards. I mean, you know, if you're here for wet bobcat content, I can't stop you. It's a totally natural thing. Make sure I'm actually pressing that glide button. It seems it's a lot less useful in this game, but I certainly don't want to end up dying from fall damage. And I certainly seem to be able to die from excessive touching of the torches. Hello, Queen Vampiress. How are you doing tonight? It's very good to see you. You know, still just slogging my way through some of the most compromised platformers of the 16-bit era.
Bye-bye.
Ah, drat. I died from the exact same thing a second time, like a dolt. Like a dullard. Okay, yeah. Do what I can in order to miss the pool a third time. Alright. There's a part of me that has been trying to avoid the doors because it's confusing enough, quite honestly. Now, let me see. If I recall, if I actually put the wetsuit on, then I actually will be able to sink in a body of water, and then I'd be able to do a bonus stage. Never mind that. Thought there was gonna be a body of water here a moment ago, but I guess not. Like at the end of that ramp, that's actually what would have made sense. Right, back to the Nerf gun. Oh, speaking of bonus rounds. So this is another reference to the TV pilot. This little fella right here is Arnold the Armadillo, and he's Bubsy's sidekick. Um, he's got this weird paranoia about trucks, and so naturally this bonus stage is about using a series of fans in order to blow him around a truck engine until he can actually find the exit. All right. Whoops. Okay, I was actually supposed to let him out at the center of the maze. I guess that means I actually don't get any of the goodies I just gathered.
I am not.
I also appear to have run out of time. Feel like I just came from there. Boy, I'm in a rut. Okay. I don't even know what's launching me. It just looks like the bottom half of the column. Come on, that one isn't even standing in the painting. You guys aren't even committed to your bit. Okay, I think it was actually one of these jars right over here is what I had to sink into using using the diving suit. Let's see if I can actually get up there. 'Cause I can't do it while I'm jumping. Nope.
I'll be back.
I've been mistaken, and I'm going to be mistaken like several times throughout this playthrough. Something you're going to hear me utter a lot during these playthroughs. Where's the exit? Where's the exit? I have no idea where the exit is. Arrows are telling me to go in that direction. I feel like I'm being led in a concentric circle here. I go up there, it tells me to go down there. Maybe it needs me to be in the plane in between. You know, I'm certainly running into a lot of my old checkpoints. I don't know if that's necessarily a positive thing. Okay. Let's try the wetsuit trick again. You know, suddenly I have lost my ability in order to go down the water slide. Okay, that's how it's supposed to do that. Drowning out. What am I collecting? Fisheye. Ah, seems like a bad thing, but you'll get over it.
Do you believe in miracles?
Okay, there was very little point to that little segue. Okay, there's my next checkpoint. That's when things get positive, when you start finding new stuff again. Sup, Anubis. You know, he doesn't really do anything. He's just Anubis. He's just a god of death. You know, he's providing a running commentary about this playthrough. Okay, let's give that another whirl. I think they're pretty distinctly trying to tell me to avoid the whirlpool. Oh. Okay, jellyfish, not so great either. Hey, I heard you like awkward platforming, so I put awkward platforming inside of your awkward platforming, so you can awkwardly platform while you awkwardly platform. Yeah, I got all the bubbles. Add that to my score. No specific bonus beyond that.
Nothing can stop me now.
All right. What direction was I traveling? I think I was going this way. Arrows are telling me to go over here. Some time ago, I should have switched back to the Nerf gun. There we go. So that just leaves the pirate level in this wing. You know, the most surprising thing in any of these games is whether or not you're actually making progress. Yes, 3 levels completed. Maybe I'm just addicted to the idea of filling up on nothing but Nerf ball guns. Maybe I don't need it as much because I have cheats active, but when I was playing this straight up, is that it was really useful in order to have a lot of Nerf bullets because it allowed you to beat opponents that were directly ahead of you. So, I am in Space Pirate Land. You know, just not regular pirates, but space pirates. So, even though I'm in space, you hear pirate music. That's what the cue is there. I wonder if they were, you know, just struggling to actually put space and pirates in the game, or if they just and they didn't have enough memory, or they always decided to make it like this because it's Bubsy, and we've got a kind of a kooky sense of humor going here. Something a little bit obnoxious is the fact that they did give Bubsy like a health bar that had at least 2 or 3 hits in this game. But then they took all the basic enemy characters and they made you have to bounce off of them multiple times too. So I don't quite know how that works in the trade-off. All right. Of course, they wanted me to get to the very top of the level. Definitely something that they would have wanted me to do. Actually, I think I'm going to stay going in that direction. Oh, well, I really can't. I think I ran into this wall before. I've gone in a full circle once again. And it's interesting that, they went with all of these themes, but they don't have, like, thematic villains. You see those same villains in every single stage. And they all look generic enough so that they fit into every single one of this stage themes. I don't think I can actually cross that. I mean, I think I might die from that, even though even though I have invincibility. There has to be something like a switch that I should turn off or something along those lines. Or a way to go around it. Okay, those weird little spiny things on the ground got me a little nervous. Yeah, I definitely knew I was going to die from that.
Is there a doctor in the house?
Okay, I think I'm closing in on the end of this stage. I'm gonna up. Okay, I didn't find the end of the stage. I found the corner of the stage. It's like finding the restaurant at the end of the universe. Oh, look at this. There's a switch I need. What do I do in order to actually flip it? Am I just not supposed to be approaching it from this angle? Okay, I gotta watch out for those things. Those stabby things in the ground. Oh, okay. I just had to press up. Okay, that was just a bonus room. I'd still rather find the exit. So, this was a game that experimented with having dynamic changes in the sound. But it's almost just like a situation where you hear two different themes and they just kind of switch um, uh, around depending on what happens during the gameplay. For arbitrary reasons, like if you run into an enemy, if you turn left, if you... Okay, another checkpoint. That is a cautious sign. Oh, suddenly I'm doing the shooter's level again. Just a little bit. It's not the whole level. Okay. Okay, while I am in just this one level, I should be looking around somewhere for the exit. Not too keen on going in there and then playing the space level in reverse. Although it actually might be something I need to do. Might as well. I'm not going anywhere in this direction. Oh, okay. It had a different exit. Okay, they had enough of my easygoing nature. Then I just have to go in here again. Easy spike traps. There are so many easy spike traps in the other in Bubsy 1.
Keep it up, just keep it up.
Hey, playing this part of the stage again. Are we having fun yet? Okay, I've been in that direction. So I'm going to need to continue on going in this direction. Hopefully without frying myself.
I'll be back.
I say it as though it's possible. Your trusty sidekick underwear lad is here. I'm more than happy that you consider yourself to be my sidekick, Reaper. I have no idea what the underwear thing is about, though. Anyways, welcome to the stream. How you doing tonight? Okay, well, came all the way here for a power-up. Your trusty sidekick underwear lad was here. You know, I have seen many cartoons, and many cartoons also had jokes about underwear. Was it the 96 Addams Family? They really liked to show the normies in that particular installment of the Addams Family as being huge fans of underwear. I was gonna show everyone some nostalgia by going back to the me too. That's kind of our thing here on this channel. Okay. I have gone in both directions and neither of them had the exit, so I'm gonna go back in here. Okay, more shooting. Yes. Who knew the solution was to go into the same door multiple times? I know I didn't. You got the Sega, I've got the Nintendo. Well, I mean, I have a classic games collection. I have both the Sega and Nintendo versions of Bubsy games. I certainly hope that there's still ground beneath me whenever I land. You know, because if Bubsy stands over a pit, he's just going to do the Elmer Fudd thing and he's going to fall directly down it. I love your streams, though. They bring me back to my childhood. Yeah. Well, I mean, I try to make my streams as much like my childhood, so our childhoods actually must have been pretty similar. Ah, finally. You're so happy when the stage ends. Okay, so I have never been quite this dedicated in order to beating Bubsy 2 ever in my life. So I'm very satisfied to know that I have actually beaten an entire floor of the museum at this point.
Do you believe in miracles?
Okay, I still have one stage left, and I believe it's the music stage. You know, music stages in games, always interesting to see. Probably, I really enjoyed the ones in the very first Rayman game. Remember a game called Rock and Roll Racing? Yeah, it was one of the early Blizzard games. Came out on Super Nintendo. You know, I used to have a Blizzard collection on Switch. I'm thinking about getting it on PC, but it would actually require for me to have BattleNet installed, and I'm just not ready for that kind of commitment right now. I think that at this point, Blizzard has acquiesced to having some of their games available through other platforms. I mean, especially since, you know, they are sublet by Microsoft. Okay, another Arnold the Armadillo bonus stage. Let's see if we cannot just get him crushed under a car tire in this one. There's something going on there, like if I touch those little green switches, then I actually turn off the fans, and then I don't have the ability to continue to go down that road. Okay, I don't think I can go down there. There's got to be like another switch I can press in order to open up that valve. Oh, time's up.
Oh, I think I broke something.
Okay, this is the first time we've encountered this bonus stage. Is effectively we have a plunger loaded with dynamite and several frogs that we have to launch into that old school carnival dunking game that you probably played at a generic local amusement park at some point. I don't recall ever being particularly good at this one. Especially since I think the hitboxes cheat a lot. See if I can just hit that star in the very corner. There we go. That's 1 point. And 1 frog left. Oh, actually, I gained 2 frogs by hitting the star, so... But then I run out of time afterwards. I have time turned off, except in the bonus stages. You know, this is actually something where the incredibly whiplashed soundtrack actually makes a little bit of sense. And you barely ever had any idea what was going to be a trampoline in the original Bubsy. You have even less of one in this game. I had no idea that was a death pit either. I think all of those symbols are actually silence, which is funny if you understand anything at all about music theory.
Is there a doctor in the house?
See, this is the stage I should have played if I actually wanted to understand how the levers work. You know, there's a part of me that was half expecting after that long segue we were going to be doing another shooter stage. I don't know what I would be writing. Maybe a giant clarinet. I don't know. Mm. Okay, so this has to be a oh no, okay. I was almost certain that it was going to be a bonus stage. They wouldn't think about putting me inside of the door. If, hell, you know, I'm not even going to pretend I know what this game is thinking. Yeah, don't get into the mouth. Well, I mean, the thing is, sometimes I have to get into the mouth, because sometimes getting into the mouth is helpful, but you have no way of knowing it one way or the other. They just gave me a diving suit. I don't think there's anything resembling a body of water in this stage. Okay, they want me to virtually wall jump up the section of trumpets here. I feel like if I let myself go too much like I'm bouncing, I'm going to end up taking fall damage again. Okay, we're approaching our very first ad. We'll be back after this 2-minute word from Twitch. Thank you, everybody, for staying tuned in. A bit this way. You have nothing to navigate the stages except for the occasional arrow sign. And down here. Although I mean down here or just to the next platform on the right, which is slightly down from... it's frustrating to think of. Is navigation through practiced obsolescence. It's good to get to all that to the end of that whole sequence, but all that's at the end is power-ups. Okay, go down again. Go to the right again. You know, this stage has to have the most thematic enemies in the entire game. Maybe this was the only time they actually took the time in order to theme a level. Okay, I reached the end of the stage with 30 seconds left at the end of the commercial. Maybe people didn't get to see that during the live stream, but I'm going to take my victories where I can get them. You silly guys. Okay. Well, I finally beat all of the stages on the floor, so now it's time for me to beat a boss. Okay, we're back just in time in order to go after he who lies beyond this strange portal. Apocalypse now. My boss is composed of various regular enemies that are just popping out of sliding panels. You know, if we ever wanted to create an ebb and flow between the complete, utter psychosis that this game is presenting to us. Give me some kind of indication that I actually might be at the end of this. I think it's because that one guy in the corner is the last one I have to kill. Okay, well. And there you go. That's what a boss fight in this game looks like.
Nothing can stop me now.
Okay, we're up to the second floor of the East Wing. So the way that this game is composed, you choose the East Wing or the right wing when you start. The East or the West Wing when you start. And then you go up 3 floors, and then Porker is at the top floor. I didn't even read what the title of this stage was. It had something to do with Power Rangers. Maybe Porker Rangers. Something like that. Okay, stop shooting at me trying to go through the door. I don't think there was a point in going through the door. If I went through the door earlier, it would have been a nifty shortcut. But now it ain't anything. I mean, it's amazing that Bubsy has the ability to just pounce laser beams. Or, you know, if this is Star Wars, they're just actually plasma bolts. So they are actually a tangible thing, but still incredibly burny. That's always struck me as kind of funny that Star Wars has this explanation for laser beams, that they are just beams of hardened plasma that can shoot immediately through an opponent. But then they also have lightsabers, which is a laser that just stops at a certain point, and you're supposed to understand how the physics works when that comes to that. Okay. I have a sneaking suspicion that this level is a big tower and I have to climb to the top of it. Aha, next checkpoint. This slightly confirms my suspicions. Of course, levels have turned on a dime before, and I expect this one to do exactly the same. I just realized that since I beat the last boss, I don't have any of the items that I had on the previous wing. And now I'm doing a shooter stage again, because why not? Where do the items go? Do they dry up like a raisin in the sun? But yeah, just somewhere out of the blue while I was playing that shooter stage, I grabbed a Nerf gun that had 99 bullets in it. So I don't even know what I'm complaining about. I'm very well taken care of, Bubby. Oh, am I on the very bottom of this stage again? Yep, sure looks like it. That's why they have that shortcut there, is that if you're dumb enough in order to Bennett Foddy yourself, then you can actually make good use of it. Is that a chicken? I cannot confirm or deny. In all likelihood, it was a chicken, because chickens are funny and they want to put anything funny in this game. Mm. Okay, arrow, go that way. Oh, look, it took me that long to get to where my last checkpoint was. You know, maybe not try falling off the stage so much. See, I was pretty sure there was a ceiling there. They actually baited that hook with a t-shirt. There are times when the Nerf gun just doesn't fire. What did they want me to do in that situation? We're supposed to be R-type in here. There we go. Can't say that it wasn't a little slice of heaven, because it wasn't. Even I'm impressed. Whatever, pal.
I like it.
This is your game, your storied game franchise. Okay, well, unlike the previous wing, this is the stage I probably should have done first, because these go by the quickest.
Penguin saved
The Great Goatsby. Now, that is a legendary pun. I don't recall the Great Gatsby having anything to do with victory through air power, but I guess I really only skimmed it when they had me read it in high school. Which is to say, they actually had me read in high school. Bee bit my bottom. Now my bottom's big. Those enemies are butterflies. Sometimes they throw green fireballs. Okay, what do they want me to do there? They actually wanted me to physically turn around and go down. As though anyone was going to be able to figure that out. Maybe they should have put some enemies here or something. You're the hobgoblin. You know, the funny thing, I was watching The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Just the other day. And it's amazing, you know, they introduced the hobgoblin with something in the neighborhood of like 20 minutes before the end of the film. Okay, well. This is the section of the stage that I was in before. Maybe I should try going up instead of down. Here I thought all of these flying stages were going to be straightforward. Silly me. I just hadn't gotten that into it just yet. When we're actually running into checkpoints, that's actually a good sign. I just have one of the sheep projectiles following me. I have a bee following me. Nothing can go faster or slower than I can. Yeah, that's weird. You know, they really tried to do something with that shooter stage there, you know. Say, Bubsy, often inspired. Probably should have been retired. Okay, well, all of the levels filled with promise have been completed at this point. Okay, so is there 4 levels in this stage or is there 5? I assume that there was always 5 on every stage. Okay, the drum stage, the dragon stage. Oh, and then the Egypt stage. Okay, well, yeah, okay, there still are 5 levels here.
I am not.
The lion, the switch, and the horde room. I think they were trying to tell us what was in the level. It's an awful shame they had a stroke halfway through. Go ahead and grab the health pickup, even though I don't need the health pickup, even though I am playing with invincibility on. After a while, I don't even know what's going on with these stages. Oh, wrong exit. Folks, he's okay.
Who wrote this stuff?
Okay, there is some way I'm supposed to go down in that direction. Something about a switch in a horde room. Am I just at the start of the stage here? It looks like it. Drat.
Bye-bye.
Sometimes you cannot escape in Fuego. Bubsy's in Fuego. Okay, there has to be something up here. Because this is the only stretch of stage that I've actually played. Yeah, Bubsy is just hyper. Bubsy is definitely just hyperactive penguin bouncing up and down very rapidly. That's the kind of thing that, you know, people believe kids liked in the 90s. Because they assumed that every kid in the 90s had some kind of hyperactivity disorder. Yeah, I came this way before. See, somewhere in this row up and down here where all the trampolines are, there has to be a place where there's a switch. I just walked into a secret wall. And of course, it just was a hidden bonus stage. Okay, I sank the bear. I did what I set out to do. In cartoons, there are no walls. You know, except for when it's funny. If you watch a whole bunch of cartoons in the from the 80s to the 90s, you knew that the character was going to interact with the wall because it was the exact same. It was on the exact same layer as he was. There's actually a wall drawn into the foreground, not painted into the background. Brainy, yes. I am Brainy. I am this cat, playing this cat on my stream. Meow. Meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow. 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 Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow. Meow, meow, meow. Well, I gotta say, gosh darn it, this has gotta be the hardest hidden switch I've ever had to find in a video game. What could I be missing? There was a part of me that thought, for all of my searching, it was just going to end up being in the same room where the trapdoor is, but no. No such luck. This is where I played Arnold. And now it's just in a path leading to where the hidden door was. There's only like 2 or 3 chambers in here. This is the other one. I mean, do they really just have it like sticking out the side of the wall or something? Uh-oh. It's this lion's head. See, how would anyone have been able to figure that out? Bubsy. You're doing me a heckin' worry. Ah, drat. Well, do I have to flip the switch again? I can't be sure. Okay, no, I can keep going. Oh. Well, I was promised a pile of loot, instead I've got a pile of minions. Somebody tell me why the mummies fire laser beams. I do not understand why the mummies fire laser beams. Okay, I'm just meant to assume that those lion's heads are switches that open doors. Well, okay, that's explainable. Sharks have laser beams attached to their head because it's what Dr. Evil wanted. Okay, I'm just gonna have to watch out for the bottom halves of any water slides at this point, because I'm just bound to completely and totally drown in them. You know, they want me to take the initiative, you know, put on the wetsuit, do the chintzy little bonus level. I feel relatively safer when I'm inside the diving suit. Just insulated from all of the insanity going on. Yeah, this switch here turned on the torches. Can't imagine that it'd actually be a good thing. Um, there doesn't seem to be an exit here. I don't know how I got in here. I went through those secret areas, yeah. So was there like a false wall that I went through? Okay, yeah, there it was. You know, hidden walls, it was a great idea in Sonic the Hedgehog. Here, not so much. Maybe this game would have been actually pretty playable, but the developers were tempted to make something just incredibly cryptic. You know, they had clever ways in order for you to get to the end of all these levels. They probably shouldn't have been going for clever. They probably should have been going for straightforward and understandable. Bad idea. Can't see them really well in Sonic. They actually impaired the walls, made them visible once you were in between them. Yeah, they do that really well in Super Mario 2, is that you just get a spotlight on you every time you go through a false wall. At Okay, I know I'm supposed to be down here. I should probably try to avoid any pitfalls while I'm sailing down there. Oops, almost did it again. Okay, there's another switch I'm supposed to pull in order to make that wall disappear. It's too bad cats can't fly. Oh yeah, somewhere amongst all of these villains here in the wall, there has to be another one of those lion's head switches. Oh, there it is. Okay. The question is, now that I found it, how do I actually get up there? Okay. I can leap high enough in order to get there. Sometimes. Rat. I don't know. I think some cats can fly. You can fly. Well, yeah, because you are the personification of the abstract concept of death, frequently used in various forms of literature. You can fly. You just have abilities depending on authorship. Technically, I can fly out my window. Of course, I only live on the first floor. I'll hit the ground very easily. As I used to say, I think this is the second Hitchhiker's Guide reference that I've made. Um, Flying is the art of hitting the ground, attempting to hit the ground and missing. Interpret that how you will. I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for that damn sheep. Okay, I'm anticipating there being ground directly underneath me at some point during this exchange. Wow. I thought I had the gate open. Yep. Suddenly, I'm not in front of the chasm that I was bouncing off of in order to get up there anymore. Okay, you tell me which way you want it, kitty. Hallelujah. Is that what the checkpoint looks like for the end of the stage? Yeah, it does. It's exactly like the one that they had in Claws Encounters. They try to switch it up slightly by replacing yarn balls with marbles, but that's neither here nor there. Is that, yay, I have 2 stages left. Yay, I have 2 stages left.
I'll be back.
Forget Do and Ray, what about me? That one's actually pretty clever. Okay, I can seal myself in this area for some reason. If I keep it closed, then it'll be a reminder that, you know, anytime I wind up in there, I just have to come back here. That's another feature of Bubsy games, is that after a while, you just have to figure out your path based on landmarks, like you're hiking. Okay, now this seems like a total dead end, so I have to go back to where I was before. Okay, no, never mind. There's another exit. I keep forgetting, there's the possibility that, some doors lead between one or two places. All right. So something like that was supposed to happen. A world full of weird instruments. Reminds me of Dr. Seuss. So, little bit of trivia is Dr. Seuss, in his real name, Theodore Geisel, was a really big wheel in Hollywood in the period between the late 1940s and early 1950s. Um, he was close confidants with people like the producers of the Looney Tunes, and he helped to write what was called the Private Snafu shorts for the U.S. military. And he made a film that was called The 5,000 Fingers of Dr. Phibes, which was probably the first time he ever used his very famous uh, abstract style that was later popular in all of his children's books. That film became a total box office bomb. And so it kind of cemented the idea from him that, yeah, okay, well, I'm just going to be writing for children from this point forward. And that's when he actually started the most famous leg of his career. So there's definitely a precedent to say, a world full of really funny looking instruments is definitely something that is based on Dr. Seuss. 5,000 Fingers of Dr. Phibes, it was basically a movie it was wrapped around the concept that there was a little kid that didn't want to ever do his piano lessons. So he just had a nightmare where his piano teacher was a supervillain, trying to abduct kids and make all of them play piano for all eternity. Okay, ad break is starting. Oh, gee whiz, it looks as though this is a stage where they want me to flip multiple switches. Okay. And honestly, it's not a bad film. It's very watchable. It just wasn't very popular in the end. The story goes is that Dr. Seuss was not a big fan of his inevitable target audience, but he did want to write for them because he wanted there to actually be an opportunity for kids to be more imaginative. And in a funny way, it worked because modern in the modern day, kids really do love Dr. Seuss, but he had to become that author. He had to become the author of a generation. All right. Okay, suddenly Arnold level. I think I'm already at the bottom of the truck. If I go down there, I'll get squished. I don't know, but it's the funnier outcome, isn't it? Ah, forget it. I'm just gonna run out of time here. Okay, something was supposed to happen there.
Remember, I am a trained professional.
Okay, Richard the Swineherd. That's actually a pretty good one. Just letting you know that somebody in this who programmed this game actually read a book.
Great score!
Okay, that level was actually a lot easier than I believed it would be. Now we're at the second boss door. A little too easy. You can only imagine what they're about to throw at us here. Well, what? Did you think this was going to be anything other than a rehash of the previous boss stage? I think the only original boss in here is Oinker himself. I feel so accomplished.
I like it.
See, here we are on the third floor of the East Wing. The big difference is that now there are 3 levels to the hub.
I like it.
There's no words. We just don't really want to get too attached to the fact that we played this. Now, where's the bee? Haven't you been watching? The bees are all over the place on this stage. I actually think this level glitches, and they don't even really bother to do anything about it. The projectiles know to follow you, they just don't have any concept that they're completely and totally defunct at this point. Yay popping is funny, yeah. You wouldn't see it as often if I weren't playing with invincibility on. I'd have been dead several times over by now.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
At this point, I've grabbed a bunch of coupons and I'm not using them because I still have 99 rounds in the old Nerf gun and it's the only useful power up. Do they even show you the original person who had the highest score in this game? I actually believe that they do in this game, but you have to be in attract mode in order to see it. When you boot this game, you want to play this game, you want to make sure that the event of playing this game is completed as soon as physically possible. I don't think people are preoccupied with Bubsy high scores these days. I'm pretty sure they're a little bit more into speedrunning. The hooks. Be afraid of the hooks, my boy. Okay, no, I know I already came this way.
That's it.
Oh no, the hooks, the hook. I do a terrible Mr. Krabs. Sorry about that. Never died from these things before. Well, I never actually succeeded in touching them before. Shooty, 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 gun, gun, gun. No pig-nosed asteroids were harmed during the making of this video game. Oh, drat. Well, that's what I get for trying to, turn around. to fix the mistake that I made a moment ago. Okay, so I wonder if those laser shields up there, that's what's corresponding to these. Oh, actually, no. Um, yeah, I'm not allowed to go through here unless I flip that switch. See, now there's a switch up there, but I already got that treasure chest. There's supposed to be something resembling an exit in the stage. I have a sneaking suspicion is that, in certain those switches on the bottom floor have to be in a very specific order. So I can get through some of the laser shields that are on the top of the stage. See, there's that one laser shield right there. That has to have a switch. That core A spawns to it. That core A spawns to it. Okay, no, I was mistaken. It's just the end of the stages right here. You don't know if you're running into a particularly smart level or a particularly dumb level when you're playing this game.
Great score. That's it.
Okay, yeah, the last 3 stages are just on this floor.
I think so.
Oh, gee. Well, let me go ahead and just turn that off. Thank you very much. Oh, what could this switch do? Oh, fire. Terrible, painful fire. Let me go ahead and just shut that off. Thank you. Where's that dang sheep? Everywhere. Sheep and goats. A real livestock game. Okay. Okay, now I have the... Okay, now I'm of the belief that I have to actually have the fire pit on, so I can get to a lower level. See if I can actually find it again. Or I can flip this switch right here. There we go. Now it's even telling me to go in this direction. How many diving suits do I have? Say to myself, forget it. I'm not even going to try with the water slides anymore. I enjoy having my sense of agency. Not supposed to be going up these things. Oh no, I guess I'm mistaken. You actually are supposed to go up this thing. You gotta be squidding. Oh, if only I was squidding. Look, fish. The fish don't stink underwater. Probably the only bonus stages I can even begin to ace.
I like it.
Oh, gee, I actually spawned a door with a switch. I guess that means I should go inside of it. Certainly not going to be another bonus stage I don't want to play. You remember how tiny some of the platforms were in Claws Encounters? They tried to do that to me a little bit in this stage. Oh no. I just don't get to go in this door? Okay. I don't really have to do this stage again. You know, there was a slightly different place the giant marble was. Oh no, I'm done for. Pretty sure I'm done for. Nope, I got free.
Another swine mess.
Say jump. I be jumping. I am so jumping right now. All right. Okay, it's telling me to go here. But then that only leads me over here. They want me to feel as though that's really important for me to kill that one sheep enemy. I should not have done that. There was no way I was going to be able to escape that.
Ah, nuts!
Oh, here I am again. What do you mean go this way? I've been going this way. It doesn't get me anywhere. Drat. Okay, I think there's got to be something up where these windows are. Nope. Okay, that's made an arrow pointing down. Made an arrow pointing this way. Did I change anything? Oh, okay, there's a door at the bottom of this now. Okay. I had to find that switch to press. And now I'm done with the stage. Hallelujah! Okay, 2 more stages to go. At least I'm assuming 2 more stages to go. They're not going to make me play the West Wing as well. There's a whole other path through this game, just so you know.
Who wrote this stuff?
It adds to replay value. But I'm certainly not going to play it in addition to this playthrough.
Who wrote this stuff?
2 life shrew, okay. That is a reference that is certainly timeless. You know, this is a platformer game. What would a platformer game be without hip-hop? It's so hard to say goodbye to this playthrough. Great time for me to find one of these things. That's as far out as it goes. I cannot throw a frog any further than that.
Oh, I think I broke something.
Really hoping there was going to be something up there, except for other than a crapload of enemies. Crapload of enemies is something that they do like to give to you in this game. Oh, wow, I'm finding all this bonus stages in this one level. Well, it's official. I have not been able to play a single one of these stages without severely crushing Arnold.
Go for Baroque.
Well, I finally reached it. There is a section of the stage that has an arrow pointing left, directly facing an arrow pointing right. They're just going out of their way to be unhelpful at this point. I think they're trying to indicate that you actually do need to fall through that pit, which is a good thing because I fell through that pit. It's actually very obedient in that respect. Oh, I don't know if that was the last checkpoint I touched. It was definitely a checkpoint I touched a significant amount of time before. Oh, wow. Jellyfish Monster is saying, I'm not even supposed to be here today. Reaper has joined you, Disc. Oh, has joined my Discord. Okay. Oh, I appreciate that very much. It's been a while since I have used the old Discord for something, is that I'm really hoping that I might be able to get back into some game design. And if I am, is that I'm really hoping that there's something that I can do where I can play something relatively tabletop related with the people on my Discord. So, if nothing else, stick around for the possibility of me doing that sometime in the future. Of course, I also always post when I'm live too, so at least you get that going for you, which is nice. You need a friend who knows your schedule. Well, that's the other thing, is that right now I'm not doing scheduled streams. I'm just coming on when I'm available. I want to blow that world up. Sis, you're too good to me, Reaper. Sis, more than just somebody who sticks around because of our mutual friend Gold Tea Fish. Okay, that's how I get there. There is what you can assume is a clear path through this stage. There we go.
I like it.
Okay, so this just leaves us the medieval stage.
Nothing can stop me now.
It's those notes, they're creepy. Yeah, they have a pretty creepy face. So something happened in Bubsy Land when this game came out is that the original game designer left, and so did the original designer for Bubsy. So I think they were, in a situation where they had to make a lot of characters for this game, similar to a certain person's very specific art style, and they were partially successful. What I wouldn't give for this to be a completely and totally straightforward side-scrolling stage. But I know better than that, you silly guys.
That's it.
Of course, it's always the medieval stages that have all the spike traps that I still can't touch, even though I have invincibility on. There are mummies on the bottom floor of one of the medieval stages. Sometimes they misplace enemies, but that one is actually quite clever. Of course, I do all of that, and then I hit the spikes that are right next to the last checkpoint I chose. Well, or not. More than likely, it isn't. It feels like no matter what I do in this stage, I always end up at the top. And the top is where all of the spike pillars are.
Just keep it up.
I don't know what I was thinking with that one. Okay, we're getting close to our third ad break. Thank you, everybody, for staying tuned in. All right. I am operating under the possibly erroneous belief that the exit is actually at the top of this wall here. I have to try to get across the majority of this stage without touching any of the spikes at the very top of the bridge. I'm playing the inch-long game like I was doing in several claws encounters. Take extra special care not to let the banners sail me into the spike pits. Okay, well, there's nothing at the right end of this bridge. Let's try the left. Hmm. Oh, then I go back in, and then there's a and there's a bonus stage. They just have to get me to play one of these every once in a while. It's part of Arnold's contractual obligation. Ultimate bonus stage, Bubsy meets Sonic. Oh, wow, I actually stuck the landing.
That's it.
Okay, this is the furthest left section of the bridge. I just managed to get there by using doorways. Okay, so I was working on the assumption that the exit was either to the very left or the very right of the bridge. I think I have disproven that theory at this point. Ah, gee, I already went there before. See if I can loop back around. I think all of the doors in this stage are actually connected. Oh, wow, there is next to nothing on this one bonus stage. Oh, wow, double prices. At this point, they just kind of put some few obstacles on the stage because they probably wanted you to actually succeed in beating one of these. Doesn't mean I actually think I'm going to do it.
That's a cheap trick.
Okay, no more relying on the doorways. I shall walk now. Well, although, yeah, I don't often go into that one. Do those two doors just connect? No, all of the doors do connect with each other. Rod goes, ah! It's like a stock scream effect, too. Okay, you can bounce on the top of the rhino horn statues. Very late in the game information there. Okay, I actually passed a brand new checkpoint. Okay, this puts me at the... But I've already been here before. Gosh, where is this thing? Okay, you know what? Let me die and then let me go to that last checkpoint that I was.
Is there a doctor in the house?
Oh, wow, I went to the left and then I fell off. So there's really three set pieces here. There's the bridge on the top, there's the root in the middle, and then there's this just great big wall right in the middle of everything. I climb to the top of it, then I'm on the bridge again. Hang on a second. No, I've been here before. It's like platforming in the joke wall of laughing. I don't even know if that's a reference anybody would understand anymore. Huh? No, okay, I guess not. It's not a reference anybody understands anymore. What you watch? Things I probably shouldn't have. My eyes were open. Marathon watching Nick at Night. Reruns, an unfortunately perpetual element of my upbringing. You know, there's a part of me that just spent so much time looking for this exit that I just want to reflect upon it for a moment.
Nothing can stop me now. Another swine mess.
Okay, now where is the... Oh, gee whiz. I did not mean to do that.
Keep this under wraps.
Returning to a tomb. Yeah, they definitely mean returning. Okay. But there is a way out of this. Check this out. Portable hole.
Nothing can stop me now.
Okay, that area... Okay, there's the boss door.
Is the writer's strike over yet?
Okay, yeah, so this is going to be the final boss. So... You know, Oinker, predictably, coming at me in a giant iron piggy mech. Not even a particularly hard boss in order to defeat. There you go. Hamhocks, anybody? Leave Oinker and a bunch of his nutty minions in a jail cell in outer space. For the foreseeable future. I called the white meat. I mean, it's pork. It's all white meat, unless it's the gristle.
Bubsy, 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 Bobcat.
Uh-oh.
All right. So that concludes Bubsy 2. But as I am doing an extensive exploration of this really great game collection, I did also want to throw this in as a little bit of a bonus. We're going to look at the Game Boy version of the game. Bubsy's back in an all-new exciting adventure. The evil Oinker P. Ham has a fiendish plan underway. He has developed the Amazatorium, a world of wonders where people can experience the wonders of the world without leaving town. But what they do not realize is that this is the real thing. Ham has been stealing reality and charging people to see it. It is up to you, the hero, to foil his evil scheme Return the world to its former and free state. Go to it, Bubster. And good luck. Yeah, the way that they made the graphics in Game Boy days, well, you know, people kind of have free license when it comes to how to re-render Game Boy games at this point. So they just, in this collection, they decided to just give you that semi-lime green sensation that you were probably familiar with when you were actually playing the original Game Boy. And so in this version of the game, the wings are simply separated by like tiny little loading screens like this. So take my pick which one of the 3 stages I'm going to play. Say for the sake of argument, I'm going to play the music stage. Man, look, it has no color. It's kind of a cream spinach color. That's what Sega used to use in order to defame the Game Boy back in the day. It really does feel like that, you know, largely pared down Commodore 64 style Game & Watch version of the game that we just played. See, there's those scary looking note faces again. I mean, just the fact that this is slowed down and then pulled further away than it would have been on the main game actually makes it the tiniest bit more playable than the Super Nintendo version. I thought the enemies in the main game took a long time in order to kill. It's impossible to get over this gap here. Oh, looks like I forgot to turn off dying in this one. I don't even know if it's possible to turn off dying in this one. There's that checkpoint that I was missing a little while ago. But it must have been hours and hours of fun on just two AA batteries. Yeah, some of the faces on the notes look evil, you know. The fact that this has been dropped down to 8 bits has not made them any prettier. Already the big marble at the bottom? Yeah, it is. So as I recall, yeah, that wasn't the place where Bubsy would do the victory dance in Bubsy 2, but it was where he would do it in the original Bubsy. And there wasn't a Game Boy version of the original Bubsy. They just didn't see the point in trying to port that one. Let's see what the Red Baron levels look like. Given that this was only a 4-button system, I can't even imagine how you would be able to turn your ship around. Oh, you use the select button. Okay, because of course you do. Bubsy actually looks like one of the Woolies, having had his sprite crushed down this much. You still see his eyes pop out. My shooting is really slow. A lot slower than it was in the regular game. There's something to be said that anytime an enemy hits you, it actually turns your plane around. That's a way in order to keep the longevity going in this version of the game. There's a part of me that feels like I wouldn't even know what I was doing if I hadn't played the Super Nintendo version. Just leave myself stuck between these two platforms, and that's how I end up getting all of the marbles. There's an outside chance that these are the only 3 stage types here too, never mind the other 2 sets. You know, we had to free up our yeah, I think they only had 3 stages. I think it's too much to ask for bonus stages as well. You know, we're here in proof of concept territory. Let me see. Can I bounce on the torches? Nope. What a blast. Really brought me. Meet me there. Bro. The ream's almost over. Ream. Yeah. Bring a rhyme a moment, new man. I'm on. I'm a meal. Real farmer, I'm good. Real well. Me and Bardo Mama, my means. Wow. Maybe I'm running recommend rough my. Aha. And my grandma. Aha. Up. So I got to the end of the stage just by going through different doorways. Maybe I should give that more of a try. Oh wow, of all the animations to keep in. Oh wow, there are bonus stages. Oh Arnold, you've seen better days. Things are actually pretty well structured in this, is that I can actually follow what the level composition looks like. That's a big advantage over the Super Nintendo game. It was like Atari 2800 Arnold the Armadillo bonus stage. They should have been looking at this as a way in order to figure out how to streamline the gameplay mechanics. Okay, I thought I was done for. But no, it's just the penguins knocking me out of the air. It's kind of hard to get out of the pit. The pit and the penguins. You know, a poem by Edgar Allan Poe's lesser younger brother. Hmm. I kind of swore that was the way out of here. Oh, wow, the Frogapult stages are here too. Well, I guess I spoke too soon. I feel like I'm playing the washed out t-shirt version of the game that I was just playing. The frogs can really go astray in this one. It's like they have a slight tailwind on them. I haven't been able to hit a single one of these objects. I couldn't even prove to you that these objects can actually be hit. It's like everything is all blocky. The pixels are as big as hams. Yeah, I'm trying my hardest to hit something here. This stage is going on a little bit longer than it does in the actual game, too. You think maybe they're going to give me an extra life every time I actually succeeded in hitting something? Okay, well, I actually think that this is going to be good for tonight. So, I'll be back next week with what is undoubtedly going to be a Bubsy game that I have never ever played before. We're going to be playing Bubsy on the Jaguar. It's 64-bit, 64-bit console. We're going to be playing Bubsy in Fractured Furry Tales. And that's going to be next week. In the meantime, I'm probably going to be doing 3 or more streams this week. But make sure to watch this space. All of them are going to be taking place right at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, right here on twitch.tv/BrainingTheRPGCat. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's do a raid. Who would we like to pay a visit to tonight? I think we can go ahead and we can go over to maybe Tia Singer. Abigail Croc is on. Mrs. Mummy is on. Let me see. Right now, Teddy Deadrat is in the middle of a playthrough of Undertale. Let's go ahead and let's pay him a visit. All right, folks. This concludes our broadcast day. Okay, we'll be back in another couple of days. I do have some great new game downloads from Steam, and I can't wait to show them to you. So I'm not going to spoil it just yet. But thank you, everybody, once again for staying tuned in. I remain Brainy the RPG Cat. Remember, BRNY means smart. Nothing is too hard if you use your head. Always be the change you want to see in the world. Have a good evening, and thank you very much for watching. Reaper says thank you for a wonderful day. Well, thank you, too. Thank you very much for tuning in. All right, folks. Everybody say hi to Teddy Deadrat for me. Everybody have a good evening.